I've often said on the show, and sometimes I'll say this to people just in conversation off air, that there are certain stories in the political world where it doesn't really make sense to cover them minute to minute. And sometimes it makes sense to zoom out a little and say, let's give it 24 hours and see where we are. Let's give it a few days and see where we are. And hilariously, the level of disarray in the Republican Party over the speakership since they kicked out their House Speaker, Kevin McCarthy, and have failed to select a new speaker. If you tune out for just a few hours, a frontrunner will rise like a phoenix over the horizon and just as quickly disappear. And you are none the wiser. And the latest person to whom this happened is Tom Emmer. If you looked at an article from yesterday morning, you learned about Tom Emmer facing a tough road to the speaker's gavel on the floor. Republicans nominating him, although others immediately saying, I don't know that this guy actually has a path to victory. By yesterday afternoon, the headline on the Hill was Emmer bid collapses, extending extraordinary Republican speaker losing streak, indicating that the nomination survived 4 hours. The Republican conference selecting Tom Emmer, and then but within 4 hours, Emmer withdrew his name. And it's just all looking completely and totally disastrous. Obviously, the failed former president, Donald Trump, doing everything he can to position himself as someone who is strong and decisive and influential in this entire speaker debate. It's increasingly hard to believe that that's the case. And of course, his initial endorsement of Jim Jordan went down in flames, just disastrously, actually losing support rather than coalescing it with each subsequent vote until eventually Jim Jordan was told by Republican colleagues, it's just not happening. You're not going to be the speaker. Here is Donald Trump. This was either before or right after court yesterday. By the way, we will talk about the court appearance yesterday where Michael Cohen testified against Trump, sitting right in front of Trump. It's unbelievable, but we'll get to that. Donald Trump saying the following about Tom Emmer.
Tom Emmer, it looks like he's finished. Looks like he's finished. He was not a supporter. He was a rhino. And it looks like he's finished, but we'll see. You never know.
A soaking wet Donald Trump relegating Tom Emmer to simply a rhino. Now, of course, you might recall that Donald Trump did previously praise Tom Emmer. He put out on Truth Social back in August of 2022, quote, Tom Emmer is an outstanding representative of the people of Minnesota in Congress. Tom is working hard to grow the economy, secure the border. By the way, there's capital letters all over this thing. I'm just not even going to make a big deal out of that. Secure the border, defend the Second Amendment, and hold criminals accountable. He strongly advocates for our brave men and women in law enforcement. He supports our America First agenda. Tom is doing a great job as chairman of the NRCC, and he has my complete and total endorsement for re-election. Now he is merely a rhino, of course, because I guess he failed to win. So this is a Republican Party in complete and total disarray. I continue to believe that Democrats should not bail out Republicans. I know that there are people in my audience and other people on the left who are saying, you know, at this point, this is actually just damaging. It's damaging to the country. It's damaging people. We need to have Democrats help Republicans select a speaker. I understand the concern for the American people and how a House of Representatives that is shuttered is not a good thing overall for the country. But if Republicans don't get bailed out by Democrats, it could get to a point where you end up with Democrat Hakeem Jeffries as Speaker of the House, which is what would be best for the United States of America. It's not the most likely scenario, but it's not an impossibility. And so for now, I still see no reason. Republicans made this mess. It's their house to control. They have the majority. Why is it now the responsibility of Democrats to solve the problem? We, of course, care about what's best for the country. What's best for the country is not having any of these unqualified Republicans as Speaker of the House. So I am still, by some margin, on the side of Democrats should not bail out Republicans. Let's give it another week and see if my mind has changed. Many people know how hard it is to break bad habits, and sometimes you have to replace a bad habit with a better habit. And that is exactly what our sponsor Fume helps you do. Fume is not a vape. I don't advertise vape stuff. There's no nicotine. There's no electronics. Fume is a small cylindrical wooden device that just delivers plant flavored air. It comes in a variety of flavors that people love: crisp mint, maple pepper, white cranberry. They've got new flavors: sparkling grapefruit, orange vanilla. Importantly, it just gives your hand something to do. It's a device that feels good in your hand or in your pocket. You can take it anywhere. And it satiates that hand-to-mouth fixation that, if you're trying to break a bad habit, can be very useful. It's also fun to fidget with, which is important too. It has an adjustable airflow dial, a magnetic end cap. It gives your fingers something to do even if it's in your pocket. Check out the reviews online. You'll see so many people have been skeptical at first about Fume. They try it and they are very pleasantly surprised. Go to tryfume.com and use the code PACMAN to save 10% when you get the Journey Pack, which comes with the device and several flavors to try. The link is down below.